Back again, guys, with another tool comparison. This time I just want to compare two Japanese brands, the famous Koken and the famous Tone, or Tone, as it's spelled. Yeah, so we'll get into it, guys. Two great Japanese brands here. Not really, wouldn't say there's a huge difference in them. The difference, probably what I would say from what I've noticed between the two brands, Koken is kind of mainly more focused on the automotive industry. Tone, as I call it, or Tone, as some people pronounce it. I'm just going to call it Tone because Tone is the name of a person here in Ireland, so I'll just call it Tone. So, yeah, guys, the difference basically, Koken's more kind of automotive focused, I think, more so. Just the feel of it, it's more kind of automotive focused, and Tone is kind of more, it's kind of more industrial focused. Not that it's a bad thing or anything, it's more not heavy duty, but it's more focused towards fasteners in the construction industry, and heavy duty fasteners and stuff like that in the construction, as well as the automotive industry. I think recently they've been trying to get more into the automotive industry. Like, their tools are great, and we'll do a little comparison between them. And maybe if some of you are thinking what you might go for, this might help you out, whether to go for one brand over the other. And as I said before in all my videos, I'm not here to ever knock anybody's brands or anything. I'll give you my honest opinion. These are tools are bought with my own money, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion on them. I haven't really, I'll be honest, I haven't really got much use out of these yet. I kind of know by the feel of them how they're going to perform. I've used them a little bit. As I said, I can't really comment on them fully as to kind of the wear and tear on them, how they're going to last, and which one will outlast the other. But I can give you, from what I've noticed about them so far, and the use that I've got out of them, and nothing really negative on them, either brand. Just point out a couple of the differences and the feel of the quality and stuff. So yeah, we'll get into it, guys. We'll start off with the Koken. This is a Koken Zeal, which is it's a 3/8" ratchet. It's more their high-end brand, the Seal. They do a cheaper ratchet. The Seal is kind of their, what you call them, their grand class, should we say. And from what I see from it, it's all reasonably well priced stuff. The Koken is a little bit higher quality, or sorry, not a little bit higher quality, a little bit higher priced than the Tone stuff. And I can't, feel wise, the Koken is nice in the hand. It has this kind of plastic grip. It's hard to describe it. It is a plastic, but it's kind of a soft plastic. It's not rubber, and it's not plastic, or it's not totally hard plastic. It's kind of in between. I'd say it would wear very well. I don't know now. I'd say it feels grippy. I haven't, as I said, I haven't got to really use both of these tools much yet, but I've used them a little bit. And I don't know, say if you got oil on it, I'd say it probably would grip well. It feels nice in the hand. It's a light ratchet. It's not too light, but it's nice and balanced. And I don't know, like for a 3/8 ratchet, not that it's a little bit short. It is shorter than, the likes of your snap-on or what have you, gear wrench or whatever. It's a little bit shorter, which it can be a good thing as well if you're in a tight space. But to get the, you know, not the torque, but get the leverage in it, you mightn't get as much leverage in it as what you might in another type of ratchet. But again, it can come in handy in a tight space. And it's a lovely tool, guys. It really is. It feels nice, very well made. There's not much slop in the anvil end of it or anything like that. What I will say about it is it's lovely. The back drag on it is very, very light. And that's a big selling point of Koken, the Koken tools. And what I mean by back drag is it's the pressure to turn this back. It's not a big deal, like, but it's nice if you're in an awkward position. And I'll show you another little thing that came with this set that's actually very handy. Is the spinner adapter. And it just, this is what kind of sold it to me, was the back drag. Not that it's as I said, a big deal, but like with that spinner on it, say if you're loosening, you get you break it loose, you can loosen it off the rest of the way with your thumb then. And there's very little back drag on it, so it's really, really easy. Where, you know, even compare it to a snap-on or whatever, back drag on the snap-on isn't that bad, but sometimes you can kind of get caught and you'd be putting a bit of force into it. But with this, it's ever so light, just to, you know, loosen off, or the same if you wanted to tighten it up, hand tight it first and then just give it the final couple of nips. Really nice. That's kind of why I bought it. It's, yeah, I have to say it is nice. It's a nice little add-on. You know, these brands, they're not really well known here in Europe. I think they're becoming more popular with YouTube now. A lot of the YouTubers reviewing Japanese quality tools, and just wanted to get in on it myself, see what they're like. I have to say, I love Japanese stuff. You know, most of the cars I ever had, they're all Japanese. I've a Legacy at the moment. I had an Impreza before that. I had a Skyline before that. And I just, you know, anyone that knows Japanese cars, they know the build quality of them. In my mind, they're the best manufactured cars in the world. And again, that's my personal opinion. I think the only thing that can come close in manufacturing towards a Japanese built car would probably be Porsche, maybe the old Mercedes. And again, just my opinions, guys. I have worked in the automotive industry for a while, but from what I've seen build wise and also owner wise, you can't knock Japanese stuff. A lot of the old German stuff was high quality. The old, I'm talking pre-90 BMWs and Mercedes. The newer stuff wouldn't be as good. But look, I'm not going to get sidetracked talking about cars. I could talk about cars all day. We'll keep going with the tools and the comparisons. Now, we'll move on to the Tone, or Tone, as I call it, stuff. Guys, I just picked this up. I thought this was neat. It's a little, it's a 3/8 ratchet in a 1/4 inch ratchet body. It's, you know, it's really nice to hold. I'd say it come out very, very handy in tight, awkward spaces. I'll do a review on this, I think, by itself, and I might do a couple of videos of it being used. If I come across any awkward situations that this might come in handy, I'll give a review on it and show you it in action. But I just thought I had to pick that up. Again, guys, I got all of these tools. I got them off Amazon, Japan. They shipped out to Europe. Because, like, let's be honest, it's very, very hard to get anything from Japan in Europe, really. It's not easy got. It's the Japanese have been kind of renowned for holding all their own stuff in their own country, which isn't a bad thing, you know. Not going to say it's a bad thing, but yeah, they've been renowned for keeping things not secret, but keeping them for themselves. Yeah, I know they branch out, but like if any of you are into watches or cars, they keep a lot of the more high quality end stuff for themselves. Like even with regards to the Subaru brand, all the Imprezas and the Honda brands as well. I had a WRX, but I always wanted an STI. But the STIs that came out of Japan, as opposed to the ones that were kind of assembled in Europe, they had a different engine. Everything was kind of forged in the engine, as regards to it wasn't the European manufactured ones. They're not as strong as what the Japanese would have been, and that's just the way it is. The same with the Honda, the Type R, like the Japanese, the EP3. The Japanese had a limited slip diff, where the European EP3s, they hadn't got the limited slip. And like, I don't know if any of you are really into cars, but if you drive a car with a limited slip diff as opposed to a one without, you will notice a difference. It's just a much better handling experience. It's more track focused probably, and I think that was the reason why they didn't do it. They think the European roads mightn't be as good as what they would have in Japan, and they might think that you know, we won't say a lot of European drivers are probably bad, but yeah, they might be a little inclined. They mightn't realise what they have under them, but that's another video in all in itself. But yeah, guys, this is lovely. Even the weight of it, it's just nice. The minute I seen it, I said, oh, I'll get that. I'll have to get that. It wasn't expensive either. Like these brands, like as I said, the Koken is a little bit more expensive than the Tone stuff, or Tone A stuff. But quality wise, the Tone A stuff it's nice, guys. It really is. It feels lovely. You know, standard kind of a handle on it. Some of you might look at it saying that's a bit weird, but it feels nice in the hand. And I'm all about, you know, the feel of things and the quality of stuff. And this feels good. I have to say, I'm really impressed, and I was very happy with the purchase on all of these tools. The other ratchet I went for was, I was lacking a kind of like I have a couple of breaker bars, but I was lacking kind of something that I could get a bit of torque into, a 1/2 inch. You know, so I went for this flex head, 1/2 inch, again made by Tone. And again, this feels lovely. Now, there's been a bit of debate whether these are actually made in Japan or not. I think a lot of people are saying they're made in Taiwan, which again, you know, it's not a bad thing. It is marked Japan on it, but it's not marked made in Japan. Where I don't know whether the Koken is marked made in Japan. Yeah, there we go, guys. Look, made in Japan. So yeah, that's the difference between, like, probably the price point wise as well. But like, I'm not a snob when it comes to things being made in a certain country. I like quality things, and guys, that's a quality tool. And I can tell by it, like as I said at the start, this is more industrial focus. Like, you'll get plenty of wear and tear out of that, and let's be honest, you get plenty of torque on that too. And it feels good. There's no slop in it. Little bit of play, like, but I've felt flex head ratchets, guys, and the minute you pick them up, you know they're just crap. But this is nice, have to say. I was using this on the Land Rover. The wheel lug bolts on it, they're quite rusty and they're hard to get off. So I just said I'll try it out on it, just loosen a few off, and done the job lovely. As opposed to breaking out the breaker bar. Like, the breaker bar, there's no big difference. you know, it's nice to have the ratcheting ability where you don't have that in a breaker bar. But like, let's be honest, anyone that uses a breaker bar, you're just using it for the length and just the break off, the initial break off, and you'll probably throw a ratchet on and take it off the rest of the way. But this, you know, I bought this more for the Land Rover. Any of you that know Land Rovers, you know, they're agricultural. There's a lot of room to work on them under the engine bay, and there's no need for stuff in a tight area. So that's why I got that mainly more focus on. It's going to be a kit that I'm putting together to put inside the Land Rover when it's finished. Yeah, so that's why I purchased that. And I also purchased a 1/2-inch socket set as well. I think that worked out about €35. And I have to say, for the price, like, they're lovely. They've kind of like a satin finish on the bottom and then chrome on the top, which is really nice, you know. They feel really good quality. There's a good sidewall on them as well, which was nice, I thought. I'll focus in a bit on that. So the sidewall on them looks good. I used those to break off the bolts as well on the Land Rover. And guys, I was really impressed with it. Like, you can see, the smaller they get, the satin finish is on the top as opposed to the bottom on the bigger ones. But for the price, €30 for that set, and it comes on the rail, a nice aluminium rail. I was well impressed with that. You know, as I said, I'm not a snob when it comes to stuff. It's nice to have a kind of a well-known brand or a good quality brand. And to me, for the price of those, that was well worth buying. And say for any apprentices starting out, that's a good quality socket set. I just know by the feel of it, they will last you for years. Like, there's one brand, guys, that I've said before, I'm not here to knock brands, but there's one brand in particular that isn't a cheap brand. I'll name them. I'll say it's Teng Tools. I've seen them in the garage being used, and I've seen them shatter, and it's not a nice sight. Those tools will shatter, and they could fly off anywhere. And I actually was using one as well, and it snapped, or it shattered, and it busted into my hand, and it went deep in as well, and it wasn't pleasant. But it could have easily been my eye, and for that reason alone, like, one of my mates, he's a mechanic, and I give him a hand now and again. I worked with him for a while, and yeah, guys, that put the fear in me of those tools. And all of those sockets that he had, they all cracked and shattered. So Teng Tools, wouldn't rate them. Maybe it was just a certain brand or a certain type of socket, but they were they seemed to have a light wall on them, and I seen them shatter, and I experienced them shattering as well, and it wasn't nice. Could have easily been my face or my eye, so just be aware. You kind of need to be careful what you're buying. The Koken sockets that came with the set. This set now wasn't cheap, I won't lie. It wasn't really expensive either. Like, it was €90 for this set. You know, which there's plenty of other sets there that you can get for maybe €20-30. But this, it is a nice set, I have to say. It was worth the money. You know, when you're looking at snap-on stuff, you'll pay probably $200 just for a ratchet alone. But like, for what came with that set, like, even the swivel, like, a lovely swivel with that. There's no pins or anything through it. It feels nice. I'd say that'd be nice now if you were using it on even on an impact wrench or something. You get a nice nice swivel out of that. It feels nice. There's no kind of catching, or, you know, with some of the cheaper stuff, you feel it gritty, and That's just a nice little swivel. I like that actually. But I went for, they do another type of socket as well. I had to pick them up. Is it a gimmick? Probably not. I haven't even used these yet. So I'm just going on what they do. Yeah, so what they do is, you'll probably see the black band on the top. I'll focus in on them. Yeah, you'll see the black band, but you can see the little ball in there as well, which the black band is like spring basically, and it's holding in the ball. But when you put your nut in there, when you loosen it off, it'll stay in that. It's like, it'll keep it in there basically for you. It won't shake loose. You won't lose it, you know. Especially, I bought them kind of for working on the car more so. The Subaru. Any of you are familiar with Subarus? They're quite tight and they're quite confined. So like if you're putting that down into an engine bay or whatever, or sideways, or you run the risk of losing it. Like especially if you have an extension on that and you're going where your hand can't get to, that's going to hold that nut in there for you, so you can kind of start it off and work it in the rest of the way. But yeah, really happy with the purchase. Nice quality tools. Just wanted to do that little comparison on the two of them, if any of you are thinking what's the difference. Price wise, the Tone or Tone A is cheaper. Quality wise, is there a difference? As I pointed out, the selling point of the Koken was the low back drag on it, but these are, I reckon, for, you know, a mechanic. They're not, I can't say they're more agricultural or more industrial. They just, there's a nice feel to them, and they're heavy. They are heavy. They're solid. I can't wait to use that now on the Land Rover. But yeah, for a mechanic, would they be a good tool? I'd say so. I would say so. Yeah, I'm gonna purchase more of these. I'm gonna get the Flex Head 3/8 and the Flex Head 1/4, and I'm gonna get the standard 3/8 as well, just to do a little comparison between the normal 3/8 and the Koken. Like it's not a gimmick. It's, you know, I know a lot of people do modify some tools from a 1/4 inch to a 3/8 drive, but that's a 1/4 inch body with a 3/8 drive in it. And also, yeah, I meant to say the Tone or Tone A has a quick release, which is nice and handy as well. And slop wise, not much in it. Hold wise on the sockets as well, lovely. It's nice. Very little slop in that. Can't knock that. And that's a Koken socket with a Tone A ratchet. And it just, that feels nice, guys. The back drag on it as well is nice too. I have to say, it's very light. Is it as light as the Koken? Probably not, but I'll tell you this much. You can see, like, look, you can see I'm having more of a hard time with that, but it's not bad. I'll give it that. It's not bad. It ain't bad, guys. But that Koken is lovely. And that's a lovely tool as well. But the Koken, I have to say, the Koken is kind of winning me over for the low back drag. I'd say now these are going to be for the tool set in the Land Rover. But they're a lovely quality tool. And as I said, they're not cheap, but they are not expensive. And for what you're getting, it's well worth it. Really nice tool for the price. You build out a nice tool kit with those, guys. But the sockets, I'm really impressed with the sockets. Those sockets, guys, for the money, they're, I would say, I haven't used them. I'm not going to, as I said, I'm not going to knock them, but for me, they feel as good quality as anything Snap-on has. And a lot of the German manufactured stuff, they're nice. And for the price point, well worth picking up. I'm going to get a few more of those. I'll probably get 3/8 long ones. And I might get the 1/4 inch long ones as well. The deep sockets. Yeah, that's basically it. Just wanted to do that. Just a little comparison for you. I'll do individual reviews of each one. And as I said, I'll do a review of them in action more so, I think. We'll put them into real world use. But for anyone looking to not put a cheap tool set together, but a nice tool set together, highly recommend it. The Koken or the Tone. Good tools. Good quality, I think. The Koken quality wise of the sockets, they're nice. They have a lovely satin finish on them, which is nice. Some people like high polished chrome. As I said before, I like quality stuff. Doesn't have to be high polish for me, but that satin finish on those is bloody nice, guys. Really is. Like, you have to hand it to the Japanese. When it comes to quality, they make a nice finish on everything they do. And like, if any of you are familiar with my channel, with the audio end of it, the Technics brand is probably one of my favorite brands, Japanese brand as well. And I highly rate Technics. But again, that just shows Japanese build quality stuff. It's lovely. Like those sockets as well, but for the price, they were nice. These were a little bit more expensive. You're going for the nut grip. These came in at €45, which, you know, you're probably looking at them saying, well, that's better value, but just for that nut grip, that's why I got it. It's 3/8. I wanted a nice 1/2 inch set, but they're 3/8. They're nice though. I'm glad. They're well worth the money, I think. They'll come in handy. They will come in handy. I know they will. But yeah, that's it. So we'll wrap it up there, and stay tuned for more tool reviews. And as I said, other little things coming up. Be branching out into cars and planes and not trains. I'm never into trains. Yeah, so cars, planes, and tools and audio. So that's it, guys. We'll leave it at that, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.